Cory, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing great, John. Appreciate the time with you today.
I appreciate the time with you. Now, your name really isn't Cory Arnette. As far as I can tell, it's Cory Arnette, comma, TRS, Transportation Risk Specialist. So we already know that you know more than most folks. So maybe you can teach us something this morning.
I don't know. I don't know about all that. I think I've got the man, the myth, the legend himself on the call. I was hoping you might put on a class for me, but yeah, very proud of the TRS designation. Happy to display it. Yeah, keep it in front of anybody I can.
Has it had an impact at all? Do people ask you about it? And what do you think?
Yeah, 100%, John. I mean, I think, and I'm sure we'll talk about it here in a few minutes too, but I think we both sit in a really difficult space with trucking insurance, transportation insurance. And I think it shows a dedication, but it also shows that educational element that you're speaking to somebody who is knowledgeable, who is serious and focused in the transportation area. So yeah, I've had a lot of people comment on it, and I've referred, as you know, a lot of people to the organization just because I think it's paramount if you're trying to be centered in the space.
Cory, you have, and we're appreciative of your support and the fact that you have had an impact on other folks. And I think that MCIF has a lot to offer, not just you, not just me, but to anybody that's involved in the trucking insurance industry. Your employer, CoverWell, has been very vibrant in seeking the TRS designation for lots of your coworkers. So tell us about CoverWell a little bit and what's interesting and different about where you're working.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, well, like you said, we love the group, and part of that's because we are an insure tech centered around trucking specifically, right? So it's very important that our personnel are all educated to the highest level in regards to trucking and transportation insurance. I think we do things a little differently, which is scary to some people, exciting to others. But our leveraging of tech, I think, is really important. I hear it time and time again. Insure tech, transportation, man, you must have your hands full kind of working in that space and updating, trying to update the space. And we do, but that's been the mission. I mean, we're ultimately standing on pillars of safety to make the road safer, and making it easier to understand, write, and service truckers. So that's us in a nutshell. And I think that MCIEF, the TRS designation, it's just a no-brainer as far as we're concerned.
Well, I think with regard to what you guys are doing, my opinion is that we're at a point in time where the amount of relevant information to help us sure safer risks, make risks safer, make good underwriting decisions is stunningly relevant and available. And if you don't use it, then I think you're making a big mistake. So the converse is by using the information that you guys have in front of you, we're going to just give you the benefit of the doubt that you're doing a better job for your customers and for your risk takers.
Yeah, well said. I mean, I think honestly, some of the really interesting things we do is the integrations, which you and I have talked about too. But we have all this information. We're in an age where this is difficult business to write. We all know that because it's difficult business to understand. It's all about trying to get all these sources, all the public information, everything you can right in front of you to do that traditional underwriting. And whether you leverage tech or not, to your point, you're at a bit of a disadvantage if you don't, because the information is so easily tied together the way that we do it. It really helps you zoom out and look at that risk profile in its entirety in a way that anyone who's not doing it, they're piecemealing it, they're missing information. It's just not setting you up for success.
I think you're right. And also, let's do this. Let's meet 2 years from today, and you tell me everything that's changed in 2025 from the way you were doing it in 2023, because it's going to continue to change and evolve. Don't you believe?
Oh, 110%. I mean, if we were even having this conversation, again, 2 years ago, and we're a relatively young company, but even 2 years ago, the amount of integrations, the amount of information, telematics, we're obviously, again, very focused on safety with our safety coaching program based around cameras, telematics. I mean, even that has changed. It's changed with us. And we thought we were kind of at the cusp of it, and we were, but it's so ever evolving. It's not going away, thank goodness, because it shouldn't. But you've got to make sure that you're up to speed on that type of thing, those type of things, because if you're not, again, it's just going to pass you by.
We're not going to let anything pass you by. We're going to make sure that you're at the head of the class. Hey, Cory, CoverWell, we want to hats off to you and your coworkers, all of your teammates for agreeing to be a gold sponsor at the 2023 MCIEF Annual Conference, which is October 3rd through 6th at the Hyatt Regency International Airport Hotel in Orlando, Florida. That's a mouthful, but that's where we are and when we'll be there. And most folks, of course, a lot of folks that you're going to see in Orlando have been there many times. They pretty much know what to expect. But do me a favor, pretend you have never been, or take back to the first time that you went to this meeting and what you got out of it, maybe compared to what you thought you would. I mean, what were your thoughts and what are they today?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I think, what do you expect when you go to any conference? You expect an element of education. You expect a networking element. This is really that on overdrive. I mean, in my opinion, pun intended, but I feel like the amount of education that transpires is huge, right? Everything is so evolving in the space. It's difficult without an organization like yours to really stay on top of that, to really have cutting edge speakers that are involved in the space that can talk about the ever evolving, ever changing elements. And then as far as networking goes, we make a joke here, but it's like we view this as our event as well, right? I mean, there's no reason we wouldn't want to be deeply involved, sponsored to whatever level that we can, because it's all we do. All we do is trucking. So everyone there is acting in our space. And it's a wonderful time just to, not just network, but to network with purpose. Talk about trends in the freight area, talk about trends in insurance, trucking specific. It's just huge. I think for us, there's very few other events that, and I hope that no one shoots me on that note, but very few events that I actually look forward to as much, just because they are fruitful start to finish. There's really no element of the event that, if you're in the trucking, transportation, insurance space, that you won't find value in.
2 or 3 comments to your great answer, and thank you very much. One of them is the only thing you said wrong is you looked at me and said your organization. And this is, I think, one of the cool things about MCIF as a nonprofit foundation. It is, Cory, it's your organization. As a TRS, it's your foundation. And as we're set for our members, I think that helps us clarify the second point that you raised, which is, as we look at what we need to talk about and what we need to do for our members, every single meeting needs to be better than the last one, because we need to evolve just like your business model at CoverWell evolves. I think the other thing is that almost everybody, maybe 99% of the people that are at this meeting really want to be there, to your point. Because they see what you see. They see the education, which is great, varied, relevant. They also see, I can see everybody I need to see right here. And they're glad to be here too. So I think those are the things that when I look at MCIF, I think we've got a lot of room upward. I think we've got a lot of room to do a better job, to give more to our members. But we're very much excited about this meeting, October 3rd through 6th. When you get to Orlando, every registrant that is going to be at that conference has the ability through the conference app to set an appointment with you for the Wednesday networking session that we have that we're sponsoring. And then, of course, you can do that on your own throughout the conference. And then as well on the app, you're going to see where your classes take you and when to be there. That's pretty much a fair step forward for us, as well as the use of the QR code. We are joining the 21st century. We're not quite CoverWell, but we're trying to evolve a little smidgen bit. How's that? And we're excited. I'm glad you're excited. And I want you to make sure that when you get to Orlando that you come up and shake hands with all of us at MCIF so we can thank you personally for everything that you guys are doing for your foundation.
Well, I certainly will, because like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. So happy to be involved in the organization in general. Really looking forward to the event, John.
All right. Well, have a great day. Don't work too hard. I say that because I know how hard you guys are working. We'll try to step it up a notch here to see if we can catch up with you with regard to work ethic. But thanks again for your time today, Cory.
No, absolutely, John. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Okay.